and of everybody in the house, and then they're going to call a stronger demon to go and get something that never was there out. Really? Please explain to me how that is rational at all.
It's not.
No, it's not. And the reason why I go on about the whole lynching thing is because I watched a lot of comments that were being thrown around before anybody even got involved with saying, hey, this is wrong, you shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some pretty nasty stuff being said.
Yeah, I've seen a few myself. Yeah.
And I was like, wow. I mean, granted, we all knew them as being a scam.
Right.
I mean, but if you believe something's a scam, notify your authorities.
Exactly.
Right.
And, and if they truly wanted to be a group, then educate.
Yeah.
And see if they're willing to learn.
And that's where I seen that there wasn't, they didn't want to learn. They didn't want anything. Mm-hmm. They didn't want anything other than what they were preaching.
Oh yeah, because they wanted to make the money.
Right.
And
but not this group in particular, but there may be some groups that really don't understand the do's and don'ts of the field. And maybe if they did, they would be like, oh, you know what? I did not know that. Teach me, whatever. So if you give them that open arms of saying, look, this is wrong, you don't do it, maybe you're opening that door to where they say, okay, teach me. But if you're going in there and you're bullying them, they're going to be like, well, this field is blah, blah, blah. And,
Mm-hmm. Well,
so, you have to give some people the benefit of the doubt because some people may truly not understand. And then there are the scam artists that, are just doing that. But you don't know right away. I mean, this one was pretty obvious, but.
Right.
You kind of have to give people a little bit of room to, hey, teach me or whatever. And we've done that. We've had groups come to us, like, hey, teach us this or that. And the minute we're honest with them and tell them, look, it's not all demonic. You're not always going to get things right away. You have to be respectful. We're giving them a list and they're like, oh, we don't want to meet you anymore. Yeah.
Right.
Like, all right, whatever.
You can lead a horse to water, but
yeah.
Can't make them drink.
If you want to learn how to do something and you want to do it right, learn it. Don't just think because you're told.
Just because you watch Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, that's how it's going to be. In all reality, it's, as guys, we usually grow up, if you were around cars, you grow up watching your dad or his buddies work on cars, and you're like, hey, I want to be able to do that. I want to. So you jump in and you learn. And then you find out later in life, this really sucks. It was cool when I was young and I didn't know anything. Well, now that I know, this really sucks. But now I know it. I might as well do it on my own cars anyways. But everybody watches these shows and they think this is cool. They go out with I love this thing, a beepy thing, and they're finding all these spirits and they're demonic and they're evil and this is so cool. And then they talk to real paranormal investigators and they go, yeah, you're not what this is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be like it is on TV. That's what I want.
Can I interject something here? Since when, honestly speaking, in the paranormal field, leaving the TV shows out of it, since when is it cool to meet a demon or a spirit in that form? These people are taught the wrong thing by these TV shows. There's nothing cool about meeting up with a demon. Isn't that right, Mary?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're far and few in between, but when you do meet up with them, it tears your life apart. People don't know. I mean, they just don't know. You have like Zach going out everything is a freaking demon around every single corner, and that's just not true. But people need to be educated when you do come across something that is demonic. And I don't think groups get that. I don't.
No, they don't.
Once they do, they're completely unarmed. They don't know what they're doing, and that's sad. And I agree with y'all. Education is what these teams need, especially new teams.
Right.
They go blazing in there, not knowing what they're doing, and
half of them don't even know how the equipment works.
Right.
That's the sad part. You give half of these, pop-up teams a K2, they're going to go into a house, they're going to go next to an electric outlet,
Right.
box or whatever, and it's going to go crazy, and they're going to be like, oh my God, you got ghost.
Right.
And it's like, really? Your beepy thingy isn't going off because you got ghost. It's because you're next to an electrical source.
And that's the other thing. A lot of teams don't debunk. They're out there just to find something and not disprove what's going on. And that's sad too.
Yeah.
Not every place is really haunted. Some people are just lonely and they want a group of people coming in. I've had that happen too.
Right.
A lot of things can be explained away.
Yes.
And teams just don't focus on that. And that's where they need to learn debunking skills.
And even more than debunk skills, get your hands dirty with fixing your own house.
Absolutely.
We had a guy call us out. He said blood was coming through the walls.
Oh yeah.
And we go in there and I look at it and I was all, so you've recently had drywall work done, right? He's all, yeah, they recently came in and redid some of the sheetrock in the bathroom. I said, it's bleeding through your wall, right? He's all, no, what? Drywall dust. It turns red. It looks red when it comes through the paint. And he's all, really? I was all, yeah. It literally will, as moisture hits it, it will leach through the paint.
And it was in his bathroom. So,
Yeah,
I mean, luckily we have Will on our team that he works with, RVs and, he's a mechanic. So he knows, the way things work. Because, our team is basically all girls. And some of us may know things here and there, but we do not know half the stuff that Will knows when it comes to that stuff. So whenever, someone's like, I got this banging in my wall or whatever, Will's the one that we're like, okay, go check it out, because he's going to be able to debunk it quicker than we will.
Right.
Because he knows how those pipes and all that stuff works. Like, I'm going to know that? No, I don't. And I admit I don't.
Or if you just got a critter living in your wall.
Yeah.
Right.
But other teams, they would go in there and they'd be like, oh my God, you do have blood on your wall.
Right. Just fueling that fire.
In fact, I had a friend, he lives in Texas, and he bought a house, and he decided he wanted to repaint his walls. And as he paints the walls, these little handprints are coming out. And he takes pictures of it, and he cleans it all off and paints it again, and they come back. And I was like, it was probably some little kid got into some paint or something and was just touching the walls all over the place. And you repainted it, and it kind of brought that back to life because it got that paint moisture back into that paint, and it leached its way back through again.
Right.
Yeah, see, the problem with Will is he debunks so much that he leaves nothing fun.
Will walks out and says, yeah, y'all just need a good carpenter.
Uh-huh. You need to prime those walls before you repaint them.
Right? Wipe the sheetrock dust off before you...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Will is really our major. I mean, the whole team. we all go in, and our daughter Ashley's in the chat room right now. Even Ashley knows that we go in to look for the human cause first.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And whenever we bring on new team members, we like to test them. And we'll tell them, remember, to debunk, but we won't explain certain things to see if they use their heads, so to say, to debunk it. And it's so funny because, when they're new, we like to test them out, like I said, and we'll take them in a room that's surrounded by electrical things. And we'll give them the K2. And they'll turn on those K2s, and they'll start going crazy. And we wait to see what they do. It's like, are they going to yell ghost, or are they going to be like, oh, what's causing this? And, investigate a little bit more. And we've had some that right away, it's haunted, it's ghost. And that's when I sit them down and I'm like, okay, you watch too much TV. You need to back away from those paranormal shows.
Yeah.
But, that is the problem is, those shows have just taught us all that you go into a room, you turn on that equipment, and it goes off and it's haunted. It doesn't teach you to stop and think, okay, what could be causing this?
Well, here's a good thing to point out. It's most of the equipment that's used for paranormal investigating that's handheld or used as like a trigger object is all designed to find electricity.
Yeah. Electromagnetic field or something like that. Yeah.
So it all came from electrical supply shops. So now you need to step back and go, okay, now when I'm using my equipment, am I actually using it right?
Yeah.
And I'm over here shaking my head.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I've got equipment. I can go plug into a breaker at the breaker panel, walk over to an outlet, and tells me if that's the breaker that outlet operates.
Exactly.
I mean, and I could walk all through the house and trace that whole line out.
Mm-hmm.
I've got equipment that I can find a ditch in the middle of my yard without ever having to hook a line up to it, just based on the compaction of the dirt. As this section of dirt more compact than the section next to it.
Right. Hey guys, hold on just a second.
We got Mayla saying that she can hear us. Okay, there we go.
I guess she probably just needed a refresh or something.
It was the ghost.
It was the ghost.
It was the ghost.
It was the spirits of Spreaker.
Yeah. The
I will
demons.
blame Spreaker this time instead of Skype, since I'm trying to make friends with Skype.
Right, don't blame Skype. Not tonight.
Yeah, no more blaming Skype. I got to play nice to Skype.
Well, I agree totally. I mean, we started a while back setting up once a month doing like a training session. We would find a place, of course, going over all the equipment, how to put things together, how to break things down, what this piece of equipment does, what it's used for, why you don't use it in these areas, and blah, blah, blah. So I think that needs to be done. That you can't just order a piece of equipment and say, well, yep, I know what that's used for. And no, most of the time they don't,
They don't come with instructions.
Oh, no. But, there was a couple of guys the other day asking me what it takes to build a team. And I said, time and, a lot of patience.
Yeah, and a lot of turnover.
Oh, yeah. I can't tell you how many we've gone through. But, and I said, but something, you can go to you, because he was talking about equipment, Jimmy. And I build a lot of our equipment. I mean, we have the normal K2s and the mills and things like that. But I told him, go to YouTube and start with, looking up, put in YouTube what you want to